Hey guys, welcome back. So today we got a 2019 Hyundai Kona. Customer complaint, low refrigerant or no AC at all. So I re-diagnosed this and found that there's a leak on the lower condenser. So I'm gonna show you guys. As you can see there, with the green dye there. I'm using a UV light right now. So they injected oil here, and it's very small leak, right? So I'm gonna use also, usually when I diagnose like leaks, especially small leaks, I use UV light here, combination with our infrared refrigerant leak detector. So this guy is pretty accurate. I'm very impressed with this. I'm not I'm not sponsored with this guy. I bought this. It's a cost budget friendly leak detector for AC. So yeah, the only thing with this one is it can't detect those lines that is wet with oil, right? So usually if it's like that, usually that's leaking, but that type of small leak, it won't detect it. But other than that, it will detect a slight small leak. So let's use this guy. I'm gonna put it in that area, and then it should beep, right? So I'm gonna put my probe there. I'm just gonna go to the corner. There we go. As you can see there. So you take out your probe again and go back to that position just to confirm that position. So I'm gonna try again here, putting my probe. And the trick on this one is to go slowly. Yes, very slow. Good. So I'm gonna go back there. It's on the second row or column. Or third? Yeah, it's on the third side. One more. Yeah. So yeah, usually you got to use combination of both. The light, if it's a bigger leak, usually you can use soapy water too, right? But with that type of leak, a very small leak, this guy can help. But I tried with the what do you call that, with the leaking line. Let's say it's a wet line on the AC, and you know it's the oil that's seeping out and that's leaking. This guy can't detect. I have a snap-on one too, but that one can't detect. So yeah, I'm gonna start recovering the refrigerant, and then let's go ahead and do the repair for the condenser. Okay, so I just finished recovering the refrigerant that's left in the system. So we're gonna remove the bumper. All right, so we got on the top or under the hood, we got, what's this, four bolts there, right? We're gonna remove our connections here for lines to the condenser. That's 12 mm, and the one that I mentioned earlier about the leak in the line, if this guy is wet, especially with oil, right, most likely that's the leaking issue. But with my infrared detector, that can it won't detect at all, because I guess it's very small leak. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, remove our 4 bolts here, And then here's our part number for condenser. Your two 12mm nuts. So we're going to lift the vehicle because we're going to remove some trim piece here on the side of the fender, right, both sides, and then we're going to remove our lower engine cover. And then there's gonna be screw here for a bumper. We're gonna remove that. And do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I'm gonna lift this vehicle all the way up and we're gonna remove our lower engine cover. So same thing, there's some clips here and we'll just remove the bolt. So after you remove your lower engine cover, if there's any connections from the bumper, like a wiring harness or whatever, or a connector, be mindful with that. Just remove that. And now we're gonna lower this vehicle and let's remove the bumper. Okay, so obviously there's some stuff in front of it. We're gonna remove our air duct here, and I think we need to remove our cross member here, right? Obviously, if you don't have any front radar tools to recalibrate this, just put a mark on your bracket itself, right? But it's way better if after this, because every time you move this, make sure that it's calibrated, right? Because we're removing the whole bracket here, and it will affect the radar angle. So I'm just gonna put a mark here just in case. Same thing on the other side here. And the bottom one. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just remove your connections for whatever is attached to the front radar or front bumper bracket. So there's two 10mm nuts there on each side, and then there's four 12mm bolts on each side. So just put that aside. Now we're gonna remove our air duct. Okay, remove our air duct now. Oh, you can see now our condenser. So the removal of this condenser is you just have to push it up from its bracket. Sometimes it helps you spray some lubricant there, right? Because could be get stuck. That's tight. what you can do is you can just slightly tap this up. Yeah. Other side moves now. Yeah. So just use your small hammer. Just tap it all the way up. This side will get stuck here on our the connections there. I think we have to remove the mounting bolts on our radiator so that we can just flip it towards the engine. So we got a mounting here. There's 110 mm, I think. There's only one there. Does it move? Okay, good. It moved. So you can just remove one side. You don't have to go remove the other side. Just need a little bit of space here. There we go. So here's our condenser. I'm gonna grab the new one. Let's install it. Okay, so here's our new one. I'm gonna install it now. Okay, so to install it, make sure you slide this in first, the left side if you're facing the condenser, and by the time when it's in on this bracket, you can install it on the right side. So I'm just gonna install the bracket for our radiator. So bracket of the radiator is installed. So that's about it. I'm just gonna put everything back together. So next is we're gonna put our front beam, right? So I just hunted our 10 mm nuts. Now we're gonna install our 12 mm bolts here. But we need to push this up, the whole rod support and everything. We can lightly jack on the bottom end. I know it's just plastic, but you're not lifting the whole vehicle, right? Or you can use your legs to do that. Let's try this again. Same thing on the other side. So, just to confirm that, we're using a mark here. I'm just going to use my pen again. So it's the same, right? It's the same, good. This side here, the mark here, yep, that's the same height there. And the bottom part, yeah. So you can worst case scenario, you can use that style if you don't have any calibration tool to calibrate our front radiator. But the proper way is every time you remove our front beam where our front radiator is connected, as much as possible you do a front calibration and a front radiator calibration. So I'm gonna go ahead, put all our bolts, and we're gonna torque it to specification or mounting bolts. So I don't see any torque spec for the bolt, but this is a 12 mm, so I'll use 24 foot-pound. install our bumper. So I'm gonna go install our lines here. And the torque spec for that is 10 foot-pound. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put all our bolts and then lower cover and do the vacuum process to fill up for refrigerant. Okay, so I forgot to that these Kona models, they have fog lights, right? I mentioned earlier, don't forget to remove your connection on the bumper before you remove the whole bumper assembly. So I didn't took a video on that, but there's 2 fog lights in the front, so make sure you remove that, right? So I just hook up our lines for our AC machine. So now here's our 1, 2, 3, 4 YF machine. I'm just gonna go vacuum, and as much as possible, if you can do 30 minutes of vacuum, that will be great, right? It's just gonna do its vacuum, and then I'm gonna charge it. Usually the refrigerant capacity for the system, it's gonna be under the hood. So as you can see there's our 450 specification drums. So I'm gonna charge that later, and then we're gonna check the operation of the AC system, and that's about it. Now here's our close-up for our faulty condenser. It was on this area, 1, 2, 3, around here, that when the infrared detection tool went crazy, right? So see there's some dye there. We're using the UV light, so that's very small leak there. Alright guys, so I'm done recharging the system. I got my temperature digital temperature checker. So I put in one on the driver's side vent, and the other side is the farthest passenger. So let's turn on our AC, make sure everything is working. Turn on AC is on. So from 27 it drops slowly, 20, 18. Okay, so the lowest that we have on the driver's side is 8.9 degrees. The passenger side farthest under in the vent is 11.5. So there's like, I don't know, 3 something difference degrees, but it's cold. So yeah, that's how you replace the condenser, and usually that's how I check for leak in the system, right? In combination with the UV light and the infrared detector, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and yeah, that's it. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.